Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mark from Right Line Trading, and I have a little bit of a bronchitis. I wasn't able to trade this morning, and I'm feeling better this afternoon. So if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse or I give a little bit of a cough, you'll know what's going on. Um, just a quick disclaimer that all signals and trading opportunities provided both orally, written or electronically that are disclosed to visitors or subscribers are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Right Line Trading takes no responsibility for any participation by visitors, subscribers when the futures, Forex, or stock markets, nor for any profits or losses that may be incurred. Careful consideration of your financial position should be made prior to trading. Never risk more than 2% of your account on any trade. Do your own due diligence and consult a financial advisor prior to make any trading. Right Line Trading is not a registered financial advisor nor a licensed commodities trading advisor. And with that said, let's go on um, to the forex trader. And what we've done is first let me break it down to you into its components. Now I know there are some people in the room who have the full system, other traders in the room that are here for the first time. So I'm going to start from scratch and go over the system as if you really don't have any knowledge of it. Now we've made some major modifications in this that make it really. I mean, I'll go through any market that you like, and I'm going to show you that it's very rare that you're going to take a loser. Like right here is a winner. Now, depending upon how you traded it, you could have made 22 pips or 41 pips. So the exit I'm going to show you has an aggressive exit and has a more conservative exit. Now, first of all, let me take all these out. Now, the first thing I want to show you, we'll stay to the top of the chart, and then we'll move down. Now, this is our 50 and our 15. Now, because these are Unirenko bars, Unirenko bars do not trace out price arithmetically. They trace out price geometrically. When you start moving into a trend, this is a 2-tick. This will open for me. Here we go. This is a 2-tick trend, so it's going to fly, but then it's going to take 13 ticks to give a reversal. So what we did was we created really unique areas of support and resistance. This line and this line, and they work really quite great. This is a 50 EMA of a 50 EMA. Now, if you just put up a simple 50 EMA, you're going to see that it's much choppier. It has the speed of a 50 EMA, but it's a lot smoother. And the upper line is a 15 EMA of a 15 EMA. Now, I don't know anyone that's ever done that before, but by taking an EMA of an EMA, we smooth the line. And it doesn't kind of get buffeted around by price like an EMA normally does. But you need an EMA to track this kind of exponential price movement. Now, the other key component is this background color. And in fact, it's one of the essential components to taking a trade. In order for the trade scanner to signal you in to a trade, And I didn't put in enough data here. You must have background bias pink. I'm just going to wait for it to load. Here we go. Here we are. Now, whoops, I didn't mean to drop that. What that means is, and it's really a key component to trading, and of all the independent variables I've seen, yeah, I think it's the most powerful. If you go back to a man by the name of Alexander Elder, who did what's known as a triple screen method, he only took a trade when he had 3 time frames in alignment. And what this background does is this is a 2-unit Renko. It looks at the 4-unit Renko and the 6-unit Renko, and it determines the trend. Now, when you get dark green background bias, which is by far and away the strongest uptrend. Now, there are 3 uptrend colors. There's dark. There's this light blue or blue, and then there's this cyan. Now, these are weaker, and we're not going to take a scanner entry, and the scanner will not signal when these background biases are present. It's only going to signal when you have the dark green or you have the dark pink. Like right here, there's an entry. Right there. And that's going to be, this is a 2-unit Renko. It's not a huge trade, but it's a real nice one. Now, full excursion is 21 ticks, or 21 pips, excuse me. So what's going on when you have this green background bias? And I'm going to show you on paint. And I'll show you what's going on with all the colors. I don't want to confuse you. If you've seen this for the first time, it can be a little bit confusing. But there's 3 kinds of uptrends as we've defined them. And let's take the uptrend. The downtrend is exactly the opposite. In order to have an uptrend, you have to have our 50 heading up by definition, as we define it. Now, the 15, if it's heading up, but below the 50, you're going to get the cyan color. Now, you're in a strong uptrending market, but it's a major event when this 15 crosses the 50. So it's a weaker entry. So what we do is we wait for the 15 to cross the 50, and that's when we get to dark green. Now, price always has to be above both. Price has had to break in all resistance and be sitting above both the 15 and the 50. When that happens, you get green. And again, just to, I can't get that out. I'll use the eraser here. If the 15 hasn't crossed the 50, it's a weaker trade, and you get cyan. Now, on the light blue, what's happened is the 15 has crossed the 50, but it's then gone flat. So we know not only the position of the 50, the position of the 15, but we know how strong of a trending market we're in. Now, the lighter blue is I think is the weakest of the colors, because you're not even though price is above the 50 and the 15, you've broken all resistance to the upside. With that 15 flattening out, you're losing upward momentum. And you want to take a trade off of a scanner where you can look at 12, as many Forex pairs as you want, only cherry pick the best trades. But I want you to understand what's happening when the alert goes off. You have the 50 above the 50, you have the 15 above the 50. They're both green and heading up. Price is above both. And that's when you're in a position to take the without a doubt, the best long trades. Now, this is occurring on two longer term time frame markets. So price on your trading chart is very likely to follow. Remember, it's a triple screen assessment. Now, just to make it clear, here's your down move. When your 15 is heading down to, but it's above the 50, then you're going to get this bisque color right here. And if the trade matures, you'll see that the bisque will turn into dark pink. Because the dark pink is where the move continued and the 15 crossed the 50 to the downside. And then when you get your light pink right here, that's again from my assessment, the most dangerous trade is when the 15 flattens. Now, when you don't have background bias, it means that your two higher time frames are not in sync, and you're almost always going to get chopped. So we don't even look at price during those periods of time right here. We have to have a multi-time frame alignment and trend, and we also look at the strength of that trend. So if you'll notice the alert on the euro yen. Now the euro yen, I'll show you, is right here. You've got at least on your trading chart, we know on the higher time frames as well, we've got the 50 above the 15. Price has moved up. Now there was no entry because I'm going to show you exactly all the components you require for an entry. What the scanner is going to tell you is that there's a potential entry. And all you have to do is take a quick look, and I'm going to show you how to be able to tell if you're going to get an entry. It's really, really simple. So you can manage a lot of different markets at the same time. But here's where you get your potential entry, right in here. And you can see how the market's moved up. Now, background bias is not green because the market's rising. The market's rising because the two higher time frames are heading up and moving exactly the way you see on the trading chart. Now, the other component above, that's really the only component above the chart. And I'm going to move now to the quant line. Now the quant line, you know that Forex pairs are linked. Some Forex pairs move in the same direction as others, and others move in the counter trend direction. We have three correlative markets in here. And essentially what this is an assessment of money flow. These are institutional and Forex commercial traders rotating their money from one Forex pair to the other. So the Forex pairs that correlate in the direction of the JPY or the euro yen are going up, and the Forex pairs that move in the counter trend direction are going down. And essentially what it's telling you is money's coming out of this market and moving to this market. So in a sense, it's a neural net. It makes the assumption that no Forex pair moves in isolation, and they're all linked in one way or the other. Now some, excuse me for that, now some are very tightly correlated and some are only loosely correlated. Now the three Forex pairs that we have here have a correlation coefficient of 0.7 or greater. So 70% of the time or greater, they're going to move in the predictable direction, up as they should, or in the counter trend direction as they should. So this is a very, very important assessment. We not only want to know the direction of price on a multi-time frame basis, we also want to know what's happening with the Forex pairs that correlate in direction with the pair that we're trading. Now, when this line is yellow, very difficult to take a trade. And you will not get a scanner signal. Only get a scanner signal. You see here. Here's the now the major Q is not in here. It's probably because the market's is moving real slow. But the major Q and the major quant right here has to be green. Now, we've made a major change here for the quant. And actually, I'm going to show this. I'll show this to you at one time. We've made a big change in our quant line and in our background bias to give you the kind of configurability that we've really never had before. And this is why this is not only a lot more than a system upgrade. It's sort of, it is without a doubt a brand new system. Now, our oscillator, which gives you the entries right here, is an exponential oscillator. And that's because price moves in an exponential fashion. So all we did was take an oscillator formula, X, and take it to the second power to make this move faster. Now, every time the oscillator line crosses the 50 magenta line to the downside, you're going to get a down. And every time it crosses to the upside, you're going to get an up. Now, these are heads up signals when we trade on a discretionary basis, but we're only going to take these entries when we get background bias and we have the quant line. Everything has to align, and you're not even going to get a signal. So you don't even have to worry about it. Now, when you do get an entry, you're going to be right on it, because here's what you're going to do. Now you're going to right here. Nope. Right here. Now this is a big one. This is an 83 pip move because this is a 4 Unorenko. So you see that all you need are 1 or 2 trades a week per market. And if you watch 12 markets, you're going to get an enormous number of winners. And you're only going to be in on the trades that have the smallest risk and the potential highest reward. That's your entry. That's going to be an oscillator signal. That's going to be an alert. And as soon as this alerts, you're going to be in on this entry. and you're going to take this trade. One tick below the close of this candle. And you're going to ride it down. Now I'll talk about the exits in a minute. Because obviously, if you get into a winner, the question is how far do you take it? And when do you exit? And there's two ways to exit. And I'm going to show you there's an aggressive and there's a more conservative way to exit the trade. I can't tell you which one's better. And in the wash, it may all come out in the wash. Because on some, you're going to be able to ride this market down a long, long way. And on others, the conservative exit is going to be the best way to go. Now, here's the configurability that we've never had before. Now, if you speed, let's say that you want to trade a 6-unit Renko. That's a pretty slow chart. I've not seen a Forex market that I believe is good on a 6, unless you really, really want to swing trade. I mean, you're looking for maybe 5 to 6 entries a week, and you're looking to ride those entries a long, long way. What we give you is the ability to change the speed of the quant lines and background bias. Remember that multi-time frame alignment and trend on the higher time frames has to correlate with the speed of your trading chart. And if you're trading a 4-unit Renko, you've got to adjust this background to make sure that the the indicator is assessing the appropriate 2 higher time frames. So when you trade, and it works out really easily, because you're trading a 2-unit Renko, this input's going to be 8. You're trading a 4-unit Renko, it's going to be 13. And if you're trading a 6-unit Renko, it's going to be 21. You're just going to jump 1 fib number for every 2-unit Renko speed. For every 2-unit Renko trend you add. So it's very simple. And you have that input on the background, and you have it on the quant. Now let me show you, let's say, I want to take a market with a lot of volume. Let's take the Euro USD to a 6-unit Renko. This is going to be a 6. This is going to be a 15. And this is going to be a 30. This is a slow chart. And let's take, now we have to adjust the quants from 8 to 21. Whoops. And the and bias from 8 to 21. And now you can see you have a completely different chart, but background bias is going to be accurate. Now this was probably in real time a winner. I can't tell you for sure, but because fractal indicators are slightly different after you close because of the NinjaTrader platform, that's likely. Let's see how many winners we get here. And we need an oscillator signal for an entry. We're only going to get one. So you're not going to get very many off of 6, simply because the Euro USD is just not that fast. And this is going to slow down price. Only this one trade is 105 pips. I mean, that's a lot of pips. So if you wind up trading a 6-unit Renko in the course of a week, how many of these do you need? So it's all based on style. But what this allows you to do is to modify the way you want to trade. You can trade as a pure swing trader, 5-2-10. You can go to a 10-4-20. You see the charts much faster, and I have to go back to the quant and move this back to 8, and go back to the bias, the multi-time frame assessment and trend. So it's assessing the 2 appropriate higher unit Renkos, and here we go. Now let's take a look at some trades. Now once I'm done with these charts, I'll put up any markets that you like. Now, when I had a Forex trading room for quite a number of months, but because I had to get up at 2 a.m. Eastern, and then I had to still trade the futures room, I just ran out of gas, and I just couldn't do it anymore. But the Forex is a great market to trade, and I really like it. And because you're looking for such big moves here, it really kind of gets around the fact that you have to spend a pip or two on the spread. So let's just take a look at the euro yen and see in the course of a few days what kind of entries we would get. The other key is to see what kind of entries we would get that didn't make any money. And that is extremely rare. That's really, listen, a system has 2 goals. It's to get winners and avoid losers. If it's going to get you winners and still walk you into losers, it's useless. It's not going to be of any value. Now, and here is a trade. You see it's got green background. Now the green background disappears, but your entry is valid right here. This is going to set the scanner off, but it's going to set the scanner off here. You're going to have a lot of opportunities. I mean, you're going to be sitting and watching this chart for a couple of minutes right here. Here's your entry. But this is a big trade. Well, 32 pips. It's not a bad trade. Now, obviously, we're going to miss winners. But the key is to avoid almost all the losers. Now, the reason we take an oscillator entry is we want to take an entry that is neither overbought nor oversold. And here's another trade right here. Green oscillator, green background bias, green quant right here. Not a huge trade, but it's a winner. And if you keep accumulating winners, obviously, you're going to keep making money. 15 pips. Now the key is, I'm telling you, it's very hard to find a loser, and you can spend a couple of days looking for losers, and it's very hard. And here's our big trade for 83 pips. And remember, we're just looking at one market, and the goal of this system is to get you in on multiple markets. Now, there's a few things I want to show you. What I do when I traded the Forex is, I'm trying to find the, I think I dropped them. What I would do is, here's the euro, just slide that over, the euro dollar. So I would take the euro dollar, it's right here, and I'd collapse the chart. And there's no reason to look at it. So what I would have was 12 scanners with their respective markets underneath. And as soon as I got an alert, I'd pop the chart. And there's no reason for me to be chasing this chart when I've got a red 15, a yellow 50, this light blue bias, which we already defined as being a flat 15. So it's a weaker trade, and no reason to look at it. So just keep the chart tucked in. And you can do that with as many charts as you want. Now, the only trouble you're going to get, and I'll give you a heads up, is that when one market signals, sometimes you're going to get signals on 2 or 3. Now, what I usually do is I'll pop the charts on, the 2 markets with the highest volume. And you see here and here, that's a volume, and that's giving you the number of lots crossed per minute. So if I got a scanner signal here, I would just open the chart. All that matters is what's on the right edge. So the scanner is not impeding your ability to trade. And then if there's no trade, you just shut it back down. Now, here's another important note. When you open up the scanner and it's signaling, let me give you an example. Like right now, here on the euro yen, you can see that you're in an area where taking a trade is very low risk. The problem is you don't have an entry. And all you have to do is look and see is that the long entry occurred here. You can look down at the oscillator and see the cross was here. So you're not going to get an entry here. So even though the scanner is firing and you're going to get it here, now there's no volume, so it's going to flash probably for a long time until we get volume back to the volume and volatility back. You already know that the entry just did not set up. And there's no way you would take a long trade when the 50 is below the 15. Now, all of the parameters that you need to take a trade already configured in the scanner, which makes it very, very easy. In order for the scanner to give you a short trade, the 15 has to be within 2 or 3 ticks of the 50, and crossing or crossed. We only want to take a short trade when the 15 is below the 50. Remember, that's a big event. And that's the only time you're going to get a scanner entry. So it's examining. It's just not examining trend. It's examining price action and examining market structure. And it's examining correlative Forex markets. If the 15 has not crossed the 50 yet, you will not get a signal. Also, price for a short must be below the 50. And price on a long must be above the 50. So these are all things that the scanner does for you. So it involves less, I was going to say less thinking, but really what it does is it takes a lot of the discretion out of the trade. And that's what we're trying to do. Now, obviously, there's always a little bit of discretion, but these entries are pretty clear cut. If anywhere along this line here, we got an oscillator signal, which we're not going to get because it was here, and we got an entry, we would have taken the trade. And that's what we're looking for. We know the market's not oversold, and we have the ability to ride this trade all the way down. Now, if we look at multiple markets, we're going to get multiple signals. Oh yeah, folded them all up. Let's take a look at the pound. I'm going to drop the scanners for now. Now, I'm going to go through this, and as important as it is to look for a winner, it's also as important to look for a loser. Let's see if we get a setup, and then I'm going to talk about exits, because you do have to manage the trade. It's not an auto system, although eventually we'll be putting it on auto. So let's look for an entry. It's right here. I won't scale it, but obviously it's a very nice trade. You know, there's a lot of webinars where you never go to the charts. All you do is see JPEGs, and anyone can show you anything they want on a JPEG. What I want to do is show you how this works off a real chart. Now this is close, but it won't signal. This is not the background bias we want. Same thing here. Same thing here. Now I've yet to see a loser. There's a winner right here. I'll scale it. And 15 pips. Just missed. And here's our nice trade again. Here's another one. Now I'm not going to talk about the exits yet. So let's just take it right down. So I'm telling you, your losing trades here are going to be slim, are going to be rare. And that's why your equity curve is really going to skyrocket. Because out of every 10 trades, you're probably going to get 8.5 to 9 winners, maybe even higher. Here's another trade. Look at this trade. Right here is the entry. Now, I don't want to talk about the exit just yet. But this is a monster trade. This is a 2-unit Renko. Now this is maximum excursion. That's 98 pips. I mean, it's huge. A 100 pip trade is nice. You see an oscillator signal right here on pink background with the quant that gives you a loser is so rare that it's really uncanny. Now we looked at making other background colors entries, making it easier to get an entry. But if we do, we're going to make it easier to take a loser. Excuse me 1 second. My son is paging me. Okay. All right. So that's why we have so many restraints on getting an entry. Like right here on blue, that would have worked. But then you're going to start pulling in losers. We don't want to do that. All this chop with no quant, we just step aside. We don't even look at this. You're not even going to, remember, you're not going to get a signal to trade it. The chart's going to be closed, and you're going to disregard all this. And this one just missed. And so did this one. And here's a winner right here. Now, I honest to God have not yet been able to find a loser. Now, I know they're here. I found a couple. That's 18 pips. Okay. Okay, I think you get it. You'll notice that when there's no background, in other words, there's no multi-time frame alignment in trend, in the live trading room, let me see, I can't, you know what, I can't pull up my performance because I don't have my Forex data feed attached. We've taken 4 winners, 4 losers in the last 30 trades. That's the kind of power. It's about 30 trades. I didn't get to trade today, and it would have been a cash cow day. When I looked, well, my hair stood up. I mean, I have lately. I've had a lot of. I don't know why. I had a sore throat and bronchitis last night. I was like rolling around and dying. I'm a little bit better today, but you can see when there's no background color, there's no way we're going to trade, and there's no way we're going to get an oscillator signal. I'm sorry, a dashboard signal. This is what we're going to avoid. And this is what kills Forex traders, is chop. So if the number of winners you get is lower, it's only limited by the number of Forex markets that you trade. If you want to put up 15, you can put up 15. The thing is that when you get a signal, when the analyzer gives you an alert and you open the chart, just check where the oscillator is. If it's a long move and you already have a long oscillator signal, you won't get it. I'll just close it. If it's a short move and the short signal's already hit, you're not going to get it. But so what? I mean, the way we go about this in the room is if we miss a winner, I mean, obviously it hurts, but the biggest thing that we work on is sidestepping losers, because we're up thousands of dollars on those approximately 30 trades, because only 4 of them were losers. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, it's the exit. Now let me find it. Let me find. I'm going to show you the aggressive exit, and I'm going to show you the conservative exit. Now, the aggressive exit, here's the conservative exit, is you're going to be out on the first reversal candle. So you're not really going to make 16 here. You're going to enter here, and you're going to be out here. So this is not a big move. You're only going to make 5. But that is the conservative, and I would recommend that you take that. The really aggressive is you wait for the green to end. And personally, I'm not a big fan of that. Now you can catch an enormous move if you wait for that green background to end. But I think our goal is capital preservation. And when we get into a trade, right here, you see now here, from here to here, if we took the first reversal, I mean, exiting is always going to be difficult. If we exited here, we would have made 14 pips. It's a nice trade. If we rode it until the background bias went to clear right here, you get 80 pips. So I can't tell you which is the best, even though I've looked and looked. These trades occur all the time. And it really is based on your risk tolerance and your desire for capital preservation. Now, to me, capital preservation is the hallmark of a successful trader. And even if you don't get the whole move, you have no clue when you exit here if this is going to be the end of the trend and it's going to head right down. Now, it's going to take 2 or 3 candles for the background color to leave. So you're going to be giving back a lot of profit. Now, there is a third way, and that is to take a trailing stop. But the trailing stop is going to be out on a reversal. And that's what I would set. We would set that up for you in the ATM. Based on the size of your candle here, 11 ticks would take you out of the trade. And that's how we would configure. But your trailing stop is going to rise all the way to try to preserve your capital squeeze as much money out of the trade as possible. Now, if you look at all 12 markets, and you can decide which 12, I'll show you the ones that I like. These are the ones that I traded. I mean, and this is me. I mean, this doesn't mean that they're bad. I traded the dollar yen, the pound dollar, the pound. I think that's the pound kiwi in New Zealand, the pound yen, the Canadian, the pound Aussie. the euro dollar, euro yen, euro pound, and the Aussie dollar. Now remember, if you do trade the Forex, you're going to get your best trades, in my opinion, during the European session. I mean, that's when everyone in the world is focused on Forex. When the American session opens, you can still trade it, but you're going to get fewer entries. But the key is you're not going to get more losers. So you certainly can keep that dashboard up. And if you have a separate data feed, you can trade it. Just give me 1 second. I just want to get a bottle of water, and then I'm going to answer questions. So just give me 1 second. Hey, okay. So why don't I show you the offer, and then I'll answer any questions that you have. I'm telling you that one of the highlights of the system is not only that it gets you good winners, but that it rarely hands you a loser. And that is the key to making really big money. Now, we are eventually going to automate it. It's not going to come till after the first of the year. If you own this system, you'll get a big discount on the automated version. And so there is an advantage to that. But our goal, this is a very simple system to automate. And on the automation, we would take us out on the reversal candle. Because on an automated system, we can trade almost an unlimited number of Forex pairs. Now, here's the offer. Now, it's normally $24.99 lifetime. The special's $9.99, which I think is a really, really great deal. Because this thing is going to make you money. It's active on any Forex market and on any time frame. Now, you cannot trade time or tick. You have to trade Unarenko. But I'm telling you, Unarenko are going to give you the best entries. I know some of you are wed to time, and some of you like to trade tick, and some of you like to trade range. But you can modify the Unarenko to essentially any speed you want, just by adjusting the inputs on the quant and the bias. If you already own the full system, you get it for $5.99. So you have the full system. It's cheaper. You're also going to get a 10-module educational training session and the video tutorial library. Now, the first 5 orders will get a mentoring session with me. You and I will go over the system. We'll trade it live in real time. And I always say it's 2 hours, but if you need an extra hour or you need extra time to get the system up to speed, we'll do it. I mean, I'm very committed to our traders, and I want all of you to make money. And I wouldn't put the system out if I didn't think it was going to be a money maker, and it is a money maker. Not only on the entries it gets, but on the losers it avoids. Let me answer any questions. Okay. Jason, excuse me. You asked me if I'm feeling any better. I've got myself on 34 medications, Augmentin, ibuprofen. I mean, I'm feeling a little bit better. Last night I thought I was going to be I thought it was going to be pushing up daisies. And I don't know why I get this. I mean, I go to the gym. I don't smoke. I don't get why I'm getting all this bronchitis and stuff. I don't know, but thank you for asking. Scott, the number of pips. Thank you, David. Thank you, Jason. The number of pip conversion to dollar depends upon the instrument. Remember, if you ask me how much a tick would get you, you'd have to tell me what instrument. One tick on the E-mini is 1250. One tick on the NASDAQ is 5. So I don't have them memorized, but it's I can bring it up. It's a lot more than $1, I can tell you that. Just calculating pip values. See the pip value of the US GBP. If the pip rate is 0.76 and the pip value is $13.16. So it's really something you're gonna have to talk to your broker about. But a pip is worth a lot of money. It's not $1. I can tell you that. So a 15 pip or 20 pip move is a lucrative. Let's try one more here. And that's a really good question. That's why I'm kind of hunting it down. You know, it's a complex calculation, but here the Euro USD, it's 1714 per pip. So it's gonna vary, but it's a substantial amount. I am for it. Okay, Steve. Well, remember, Steve, I mentioned to you about the 6E, and I want to walk that back. This is purely for Forex. The 6E is futures, and this is not optimized for any futures market, only for Forex markets. So I knew you were interested in the 6E, the 6A, the 6C, but that's a system you'd have to trade on our other program. We don't have an automated currency trader for futures. So I have to pull that back, and I'm sorry about that, Steve. Yes, right, Fiona, right after the first of the year, we're going to have that room open. I already have the person. It's a woman, and she's going to be trading it. It's a definite. We have everything worked out, and right after the new year, 2019, we're going to be starting that room. You know, David, that's a really great question. David's question is, do you only take an oscillator entry, or will you take any entry when you get a candle with a wick that has all the other entry requirements in place? And let me tell you, David, That's what I'm going to go over with you on the mentorship. I wanted to make this very straightforward. And if you just take an oscillator entry, you're going to be pushing 90% winners. There is one other entry, but it's discretionary, and it's the one that you mentioned. But I think it's beyond the scope of this right now. It's definitely possible, David. So I'm right there with you. And if I traded the system, as soon as I saw that alert, I would look for that pullback right here with this wick. Take the trade here. And I would take the trade again here. Now I have the oscillator, and I would take the trade here. Now I have the pullback, and I would take the trade here. But that takes a little bit of work. And I don't want to mention that, but those are all, actually out of this move, even on the most conservative exit, you've got an entry here, you've got an entry here, you've got a defined entry here, you've got an entry here. You can make a lot of money out of this. This is, depending upon the number of lots you trade, this could easily be $1,000 move. I just don't want to complicate this right now. Let's just take the oscillator signals, since they are the most conservative, and they're the ones that are gonna make you money. But you are correct. I think I went over them, David. Either when you lose that green background, when you lose any background, goes to clear, or the first reversal. And I recommend that first reversal candle. That's my recommendation. Now, in the mentorship, I'm going to tell you how to get right back in. Take the hit. It's the conservative way to go. You're going to give back a few pips and then move right back in and ride it up again. That's all. Yes, we are, Scott. This is going to be auto traded. It's recorded, Kevin. Oh, thank you so much, Priscilla. Okay, let me see here. Hot tea and a tablespoon each of honey, lemon juice, and whiskey. Oh my God. I gotta get some Jack Daniels. Lemon juice. Very nice. I'm gonna get some of that stuff. I'm telling you, but I have a bacterial infection. When I cough, I bring up cement. It's awful. Thank you. Yes, Kenneth will make a recording. It's not, Clay. You can't use it on MT4. I have so many traders ask about MT4. But the thing that you can do is, if you're willing to pay for a live version of Ninja, I don't even think you need a live version, actually. If you download the demo and you get a demo feed, which we can get you for a month or two for free. You just take the entries on MT4. It's obviously more complicated, but because you're trading off of two platforms. But these entries are going to give you lots of heads up. And that's an alternative for you. It's just execute on MT4. And MT4 is one of the few platforms we don't have an API for. Like, we can connect you to Thinkorswim, we can connect to eSignal, we cannot connect to MT4. And I've had so many people ask about MT4. We're eventually going to try to move over there, but that's not going to be till spring, because we have so many things that my programmer Sergio is basically having a nervous breakdown. But you're one of many people that ask about MT4, It's the only recommendation I can make. I mean, when you're talking about a 50 or 60 or 70 pip move, you can get it on MT4 easily. Sure, John. John's asking me, when a scanner goes off, what's the first thing I would look at? That's a really good question, actually. Let's just take a hypothetical. The scanners is going to go off. Now this, you're not going to have a lot of time. You're going to have the time here. Actually, this isn't even a good example. As soon as you open the scanner, you got an entry. You're just going to take it right here. Let's get a better example. And I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, right here. So the scanner is going to go off here. So the first thing you're going to look at is the oscillator position. So is the oscillator position going to give me a short signal? Or you can look for that down signal on the move. If you already have it, you're not going to get a trade, because you're not going to get another down until you get an up. Then you're going to get it down. So that's the first thing I would look at. If the oscillator is already fired short, you're not going to get this move. It's already a protracted move to the downside that we didn't have the rules to get into. That's the first thing. If there's been no oscillator signal down, you would wait. And you can anticipate when it's going to come, because you're going to see the oscillator approach the 50. And as soon as it crosses, the oscillator signal occurs intra-candle. So it's going to flutter, and then as the candle moves down, it's going to get solid. So you know that you've got an oscillator entry, and you're going to put your trade in one tick below the close of the candle. But that's the most important thing I would look at, because right here too, you have the same thing. Here's the oscillator signal, long. When the scanner goes off here, you don't have an entry. That's the number one thing I would do. Easy, Michael. Remember, if you changed it to a 410, well, hold on a second. Okay, all you do is go to the indicators, go to bias, and change this to 13. Go to the quants and change it to 13. A 5-2-10 is an 8. A 10-4-20 is a 13. Your next highest is a 21. Your next highest is a 35. It's real simple. All you got to do is just pull up the fib numbers, track them across. So 8, 13, 21, 35. For every time you take a higher Unorenko position or slow the chart down. Yes, no play. We always, as part of we will give you 2 licenses, Clay. 1 for each computer. It's all right now, Walt. It's only on Ninja. We like are 99% on Sierra, but Ninja is really always been our primary focus. And this thing is so complex. it's brutal to roll it over to other platforms. Remember, this is looking at other markets. This is looking at multiple time frames. So it's a difficult system to roll to other platforms. So right now it's only and NinjaTrader, but like I said, with a demo version and a data feed. Now you're gonna have to pay for it eventually, but we can give you a month or two. We can get you a month or two for free. You can trade it on any, you can take the signals on other platforms. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, better. I'll be in, Ron, unless unless I'm laying in the street, I'll be there. I was I was almost gonna come this morning, but I couldn't even move. I know, Steve. I'm just trying to. Okay. All right. I'm just about done. That's correct, David. 10 per pip on a full lot. No problem, Frank. We will count you. Okay. Frank, all you need is an FX data feed to bring them up, and you may not have one. We'll get you one for a month, and then they'll all come up. I mean, all you got to do is just go to Ninja, and that may be the problem. Just go to Tools, Instrument Manager, and then you have everything here. You see, here's the pound dollar. Now, you won't have these unless you have a Forex feed. And if you look at my NinjaTrader here, see, I'm on FXCM, and that's what's giving them to me. But we'll get you a data feed. Correct, David. You do need to calculate. I just think the question was more along the line of, does a pip equal a dollar, or does a pip equal $2, as opposed to, just get a ballpark figure for that. You can't use MT4. I know, and it's starting to cause a pain because I have so many MT4 traders. All you can do, Unorenko, is use the Ninja platform in demo mode. You don't need a live version, so it's free. And then you're gonna need we can get you a free Forex data feed for a month. Then eventually you're gonna have to pay for it. And then take the signals on MT4. And without a doubt, I'm seeing more traders on MT4 than anything else. Yes, right now only on Ninja, George. James, just give us a call and we'll talk to you about all of that. David, we're starting a European session room. Mercedes Osterman is going to run it right after the first of the year. I think she's going to start trading about 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, what instruments she trades are going to be up to her. I mean, I can't, give her instructions or tell her what to do. But she's going to be trading for us in the middle of the night. And let me tell you, if you can get up, I think she's going to get you some great winners. I have her performance, and it's stellar. She's ultra conservative, and when she gets into a trade, it's very likely to be a winner. The time frames, Len, I think for me, the best times are to trade the European session. Although I have to tell you, the Forex markets in the early morning move, like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, they tend to, you start getting a real spurt of volume. But then around 10 o'clock in the morning, they tend to start to die. So it's mostly depending upon where you're located. It's something that's going to give you great trades. You can get great trades at 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern, 6 o'clock in the morning, and stellar trades at 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern. Joe, it'll be available on NT8 in 1 week. So if you buy the NT7 version and we hook you up, we'll move it to NT8. If you'll give us about a week, all these indicators are operational on NT8. Sergio just has to package it. So it's a very quick move to NT8. Okay. Just call me, Steve. No, they're not, Ed. Some Forex markets are faster. And on those Forex markets, on the slow Forex markets, you're going to trade a 5-2-10. That's my recommendation. On the faster, you're going to trade a 10-4-20. On the 10-4-20, you're going to go to the higher Unirenko. You're going to go to the higher fib. And don't worry, I mean, I'll walk this. Sergio, when you get set up, Sergio and Ward will walk you through this. You're going to get the bias at 13 and the quant at 13. On the faster, you're going to get the bias at 8, and you're going to get the quant at 8. That's all. That will not be a problem for you. No, well, we have a live room now, George. I mean, I trade every morning, except when I'm on my deathbed, like this morning. And I'm honest to God, we're amassing an incredible win rate. Like I said, out of the last 27, 28, 29, 30 trades, I have 4 losers. And we're approaching $3,000 or $4,000 in profit in the last 10 days. So our room that's open now has been open for the last 5 years, is just doing stellar. Now, if you buy the system, we'll be more than happy to put you in the room. I didn't add it because this is not what we trade in the room. And I don't want people to get confused because I'm trading futures in the room on a different system. But you're welcome to come in, and you're welcome to spend a month there. Is he Frank? Yeah, garlic and onions. But listen. The only upside here is I get to drink whiskey. Jim Beam. Okay, I used to drink Wild Turkey when I was in high school. That stuff was great. You know what, James? Hold on a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna disconnect my FXCM, and it's only take a minute. I'm just about done with questions, and I'm gonna connect my CQG. Uh-oh. My CQG is dead for some reason. Hold on a second. It's not connecting. My CQG, I don't know why it's not connecting, but my CQG data feed has my performance, and it's stellar. And I have no idea why, but that's the futures data feed. You see on here, there's no performance because we're not trading these markets. So if you'd like to give us a call, be happy to show it to you on Team Viewer. I don't know why I can't connect to CQG. I no idea. You know what? Let me try something else. I don't think Kinetic is going to do it. No, Kinetic is not going to do it. I don't know why. I mean, it's just one of those. But I'm proud of it, James. I'm not hiding it. It does. This is exactly what it is, Jeff. This finds the best trades. You can trade 14, 15, 16 Forex pairs. You need to use a little, it takes a little bit of work. It's not an auto system. But when you get that alert, you can really ascertain in 15 seconds whether you're heading into a really great trade. And when you get the trade, and I do think it's worth emphasizing, the likelihood of getting a loser is exceedingly low. I mean, really low. So that's if it has a lot of power, I think its ability to avoid losers may be stronger than its ability to get winners. And that's why it's going to make money for you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Olafima. You can use this as the entry signal and simply execute the trades on MT4. It's going to take a little bit more dexterity, but oftentimes when you get an alert, you're still a minute or 2 or 3 minutes away from a potential entry. So you've got plenty of room and plenty of time. The one thing you will not find yourself is rushed, because usually that background bias goes green or red, and you don't get an immediate trading signal. I don't know if I can find it. Always when I look for something here, I don't get it. So you're going to have time. You're going to have time to take the trade. I gotcha. You and a lot of other people. I think I did, Olafina, is that you can get the signals from Ninja. Remember, it's a demo version, so you pay nothing. The first month will get you a free data feed, but after that, you're going to have to pay for the Forex data feed, which is not a lot. But then you can execute on MT4. You take care, Stephen. Thank you. You take care too, Phil. Thanks, guys. The data feed for the FX, it's about $80 a month. It's not a lot of money. Okay. Do we have to buy the full version of Ninja, or can we use only NinjaTrader brokerage account? A free, yes. If you're gonna use Ninja to trade, you need the full version. If you're going to use Ninja to trade another platform, you're fine on the free demo version. But if Ninja is going to be your platform, then you're going to need to open a brokerage account and get a full Ninja version. Thank you, Joe. No, my name is Mark. Jeff. You know, the number of pairs you can trade is, honest to God, it's unlimited. It all depends on how quick you are. Because like I said, all of these Forex markets are linked. And let's say you put up 20 pairs. When I traded the Forex markets at night, and I did it for quite a few months before I just ran out of steam. You know, if the pound gets creamed, a lot of those pound crosses will start to signal at the same time. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, you have multiple potential entries. I mean, I'm not telling you you're not going to get winners. I'm saying you may wind up having to move pretty quickly. And what I recommend in that situation is you open up the two markets with the highest volume. You always go with the high volume markets, and that's going to be helpful. But I'm telling you, you're going to see how linked these Forex pairs are, and how they will simultaneously signal alerts. I showed you all the pairs I trade right here. Aussie, Euro, Pound, Euro, Yen, Euro, Dollar, Pound, Aussie, Pound, Canadian, Pound, Yen, Pound, New Zealand, Pound, Dollar, and Pound and Pound, Yen. Those are not necessarily the best. Those are just the ones that I like. Two, just a two lot. That's all. Oh, funny. Okay, Tyson, tell me where you are. We'll be drinking buddies. Oh, CQG is down. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. You see, CQG, the data feed is down. That's why we can't connect. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you, David. Once I get Ninja, Olafini, we will configure it for you. You don't have to do anything. It's a complex system. Sergio will go on your computer via TeamViewer, and he will configure the entire system. And if you're one of the first 5, I'm going to work with you together, and I'm going to show you how to trade the system, and I'm going to show you a few tricks, because the system does have a little bit of configurability, and I think you can pop a few extra winners. Or although frankly, I don't know if you're going to need them, because I'm telling you, you're gonna on the few trades that I saw that didn't work, they lost like 11 and 12 pips, and on the winners, you can make anywhere from 50 to 60 pips, and even a small trade would be a 15 pip trade. So your risk to reward here is enormously in your favor. I mean, if you take an 11 pip loser, you're going to wind up with 5 winners in a row. I mean, that's the way just the system works. Ed, I don't believe so. Thank you, George. Well, Cross, this is a little bit of a different system, but if you call us, Rory will talk to you. Don't worry about it. That is correct. You can't use the NDT. These trades you're going to have to take on your MT4 platform, on the standard platform. Correct, completely correct, Fiona. It doesn't, Robert. Ninja Brokerage does not allow foreign exchange trading, but we have there's a few. Rory knows those. I know Interactive Brokers does. Rory, what else allows people from outside the United States? What other platforms run Ninja that allow in
Canada, Global Futures,
global
Interactive Brokers?
Global Futures, Interactive Brokers. There's a few options you have, Robert, if you're foreign exchange. Again, Robert, 1 pip can be anywhere from $5 to $10, depending upon the currency pair. I brought up Google. It's a complex calculation, and we saw that the dollar cross was $10 a pip. Listen, you're going to have to check it out. I mean, the dollar yen, they're all running around $9-10 per pip. Oh, okay, great. It does, Fiona. Owanda Forex runs Ninja Trader. Thank you for reminding me on that. OANDA Forex runs Ninja, and it's a great data feed and system. Okay, guys, ladies, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the time, and whatever you do, I wish you the really best of luck. I think this is going to make you money. I will work with you. If you want to come into our live trading room, you're welcome to come in there, just with the understanding that we trade a different system. Remember, we're not on the Forex, we're on futures, and you're welcome. You're welcome to come. Okay, Fiona, I'm gonna look at that. Sovereign colloidal silver. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I wish everyone a wonderful night, and hopefully I'll see some of you in the trading room. Take care and have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.